Imagine life as a path we're always walking. Sometimes we encounter rocks and have to decide, do we try to pass through them again or choose a new path? It's not always easy to decide, but there are times when moving forward without looking back is what we need to grow and find happiness. Today I want to share with you an idea that may seem difficult but is very valuable. Sometimes it's better not to give second chances. I'll count 8 reasons that show why in certain situations this might be the wisest and bravest choice. These reasons come from an ancient and wise place, Stoicism, but they speak directly to our daily lives. They're lessons about self-respect, learning from mistakes, and knowing when it's time to let go and start something new. Let's embark on this journey together. I'll show you how these ideas can help us live better, be happier, and make choices that truly make sense for us. Before we dive into this journey, I invite you to join our community by subscribing to the channel. Together, we form an unbeatable force. And be sure to check out the Practical Hizo Guide, your manual for navigating modern challenges with historical wisdom. Find the link in the first pinned comment below. Now, without further ado, let's embark on this adventure. Lesson 1. Valuing your own time and energy. Each of us has something incredibly valuable, something that once lost can never be recovered, our time and energy. Think about your daily life, the many times you've felt drained, not from doing something you love, but from spending that time and energy on situations or with people who add nothing positive to your life. The truth is, when we give second chances to these situations or people, we're choosing to invest our most precious resource in something that has already shown not to be worth it. It's like trying to fill a leaking bucket, hoping that this time it will stay full. But the water, like our time and energy, seeps through the holes. At the core of this first lesson is learning to recognize the value of what you have to offer. Your time, your presence, your energy are gifts and, like any gift, should be shared carefully with those who truly appreciate and reciprocate them. It may seem harsh to say no to someone asking for a second chance, especially if it's someone we like or care about. But consider this: saying no is also a way of saying yes to yourself. It's affirming that you value your own well-being, your own needs and dreams. Imagine your energy as a seed in barren soil where, no matter how much you nurture it, little will grow. Or you can choose fertile soil, a place where your seeds will not only sprout but flourish, bringing beauty and fruit to your life. This lesson is not about never forgiving or closing your heart to people. It's about being selective, about choosing where and with whom you share the precious gift of your life. It's about learning to respect yourself enough to only give second chances when they truly have the potential to bring something positive to your existence. Throughout our journey, we'll encounter many crossroads, many decisions to make. Remember that each choice is an opportunity to invest in yourself, to nurture your own life, and to grow in ways you may never have imagined. So choose wisely, choose with love, and above all, choose to respect yourself. Lesson 2. Self-respect and boundaries. Talking about self-respect and boundaries is entering territory we often avoid. After all, setting boundaries may seem like an act of separation, a barrier we erect between ourselves and others. But in reality, it's one of the deepest forms of self-love and respect we can practice. Self-respect means recognizing your own worth, understanding that you deserve to be treated with dignity and care, not just by others, but primarily by yourself. And here lies a crucial point. How can we expect others to respect us if we fail in this task ourselves? When we give second chances without deep reflection on the reasons and consequences, we risk sending a message that our self-respect is negotiable. It's as if we're telling the world that it's okay to treat us less carefully than we deserve. Setting boundaries isn't about building walls. It's about drawing clear lines in the sand that say, this is where I begin and this is where you end. Healthy boundaries allow us to interact with others from a position of strength and balance, not sacrifice or victimization. Think of the times you felt drained, undervalued, or frustrated because you gave yet another chance to something or someone. These feelings indicate that your boundaries were crossed, that your self-respect was compromised. Learning to say no when necessary is a powerful act of personal affirmation. Saying no means saying yes to your well-being, to your growth, and to the life you want to live. Now, imagine what your life would be like if you put yourself first, if you respected your own boundaries as much as you respect others. You'd likely find yourself making choices more aligned with your true desires and values. And, most importantly, you'd become a beacon of self-respect, attracting people and situations that reflect the same level of consideration and care. Self-respect and boundaries aren't just concepts. They're daily practices that begin with small choices. Each time you stand firm in your values, each time you honor yourself, you're building a life of integrity and self-respect. And that alone can transform everything. Lesson 3. Learning from mistakes. In our journey, every mistake carries within it a seed of wisdom, a lesson to be learned. But for that seed to germinate, we must be willing to confront our mistakes head-on, accept them, and understand what they can teach us. The difficulty arises when, instead of learning from these mistakes, we choose to give second chances that lead us to repeat them, creating a cycle that prevents us from growing. Giving second chances isn't inherently wrong, but when these chances are given without a true understanding or change in the patterns that led to the initial mistake, it's like trying to plant the same seeds in infertile soil, hoping that, by some miracle, they'll bloom. Learning from mistakes goes beyond simply acknowledging them. It involves deep introspection and the courage to change. It means looking both outward for solutions and inward to where the true answers lie. When we give ourselves the opportunity to learn from our mistakes, we no longer need to repeat them. Each lesson absorbed paves the way for new choices and experiences. Imagine each mistake as a step on a staircase. You can choose to remain on the same step, giving second chances that lead nowhere. Or you can use each mistake as momentum to climb to the next step, leaving behind old patterns and reaching new horizons. However, remember that learning from mistakes doesn't mean being harsh on yourself. On the contrary, it requires immense kindness and compassion. Because it's in acknowledging our humanity and fallibility that true growth occurs. With each mistake, offer yourself understanding and forgiveness, knowing that each misstep is actually a step toward the person you're becoming. So, the next time you're faced with the decision to give a second chance, ask yourself, am I repeating a pattern? Or am I creating a new opportunity for learning? Be honest with yourself, and let the wisdom gained from your mistakes guide you toward a brighter future. Lesson 4. Toxic relationships. Toxic relationships are like poison slowly seeping into our lives, draining us of vitality and joy. They can take many forms, from friendships that drain our energy to romantic relationships that undermine our self-esteem. What they all have in common is their ability to keep us stuck in a cycle of negativity and suffering. Giving second chances to toxic relationships is like willingly drinking from a poisoned chalice, hoping that this time it will taste different. But the reality is, no amount of second chances will change the toxic nature of these relationships. In fact, by giving them more chances, we only prolong our own suffering and delay the inevitable, the need to let go and move on. Recognizing toxic relationships isn't always easy, especially when emotions are involved. But there are signs that can help us identify them. Constant criticism, manipulation, lack of respect for boundaries, and feelings of guilt or obligation are just a few. When we encounter these signs, it's essential to listen to our intuition, to the quiet voice within that knows what's best for us. Trusting our intuition means honoring our own truth, even when it's difficult or painful. It means having the courage to walk away from situations or people that no longer serve our highest good. Remember, you deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, who respect you, and who bring out the best in you. Don't settle for anything less. By saying no to toxic relationships, you're saying yes to your own well-being, to your own happiness. You're reclaiming your power and creating space for new, positive connections to enter your life. So the next time you're tempted to give a toxic relationship a second chance, ask yourself, is this truly what I deserve? and listen closely to the answer that arises from within. Lesson 5. Trust and integrity. Trust is the foundation of any healthy relationship, whether it's with a friend, a partner, or ourselves. When trust is broken, it's like a crack forming in the foundation of a house. If left unaddressed, it can cause the entire structure to collapse. Giving second chances in situations where trust has been broken requires careful consideration and discernment. It's not simply a matter of forgiving and forgetting. It's about rebuilding what has been lost brick by brick with honesty and integrity. Rebuilding trust isn't easy, and it requires both parties to be committed to the process. It means being willing to have difficult conversations, to be vulnerable, and to take responsibility for one's actions. It also means being patient and understanding that trust is earned over time, not given freely. When considering whether to give a second chance in a situation where trust has been broken, it's essential to assess whether the other person has shown genuine remorse and a willingness to change. Actions speak louder than words, and consistent, sincere actions are the building blocks of trust. Trusting ourselves is equally important. It means honoring our instincts, our values, and our boundaries. When we trust ourselves, we're better equipped to navigate the complexities of relationships and make choices that align with our true desires. So, before giving a second chance in a situation where trust has been broken, ask yourself, is this person willing to do the work to rebuild trust? And do I trust myself enough to know what's best for me? Lesson 6. Patterns of behavior. Patterns of behavior are like threads weaving through the fabric of our lives, shaping our experiences and relationships. Some patterns uplift us while others keep us trapped in cycles of dysfunction and unhappiness. Giving second chances to patterns of behavior that no longer serve us is like spinning our wheels in the mud, going nowhere fast. Breaking free from these patterns requires courage and self-awareness. It means recognizing when we're stuck in old ways of thinking and behaving and having the courage to chart a new course. It's not easy to break free from patterns that have become ingrained in our psyche, but it's essential if we want to live fulfilling lives. The first step is awareness, paying attention to the thoughts, emotions, and actions that perpetuate these patterns. The next step is acceptance, acknowledging that these patterns no longer serve us and are holding us back from our true potential. Finally, there's action, taking deliberate steps to change our behavior and create new, healthier patterns. Breaking free from old patterns isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process that requires dedication and commitment. But with each small step forward, we reclaim a little more of our power and freedom. So the next time you find yourself tempted to give a second chance to an old pattern of behavior, ask yourself, is this leading me toward the life I want to live? And have the courage to choose differently. Lesson 7. Honoring your values. Our values are like the North Star guiding us through the darkest of nights. They're the principles that give meaning and purpose to our lives, the compass that keeps us on course when the waters get rough. When we compromise our values to give second chances in situations that conflict with them, we betray ourselves and undermine our integrity. Honoring your values means staying true to what you believe in, even when it's difficult or unpopular. It means having the courage to stand firm in your convictions and not waver in the face of pressure or temptation. When considering whether to give a second chance, it's essential to assess whether doing so aligns with your values. If the situation or person in question goes against what you hold dear, then giving a second chance would be a disservice to yourself. Remember, your values are the foundation of who you are. They're what make you unique and worthy of respect. By honoring your values, you're honoring yourself and setting a powerful example for others to follow. So before giving a second chance, ask yourself, does this align with my values? And let the answer guide you toward a decision that honors who you are. Lesson 8. Choosing growth and happiness. At the heart of our journey lies a simple but profound truth. Life is too short to waste on people or situations that don't bring us joy or help us grow. Giving second chances should never be about settling for less than we deserve or sacrificing our happiness for the sake of others. It should be about creating opportunities for growth, learning, and deeper connection. When considering whether to give a second chance, ask yourself, does this choice bring me closer to my goals and aspirations? Does it align with the person I want to become? If the answer is yes, then giving a second chance may be worth it. But if the answer is no, then it's time to let go and move on. Remember, you have the power to choose the direction of your life. You have the power to create the happiness and fulfillment you desire. So, choose wisely, choose bravely, and above all, choose in alignment with your truest self. In conclusion, giving second chances can be a beautiful expression of compassion and forgiveness. But it's essential to do so with mindfulness and discernment, taking into account our own well-being and values. By valuing our time and energy, respecting ourselves and our boundaries, learning from mistakes, and trusting our intuition, we can make choices that lead to greater happiness, fulfillment, and growth. I sincerely hope that this message has been useful to you. I want to congratulate you greatly for having come this far, and for having finished the video. That means that you want to improve as a person. If you liked the video, leave your comment. You don't know what to comment. Comment "I dare," so I know you made it to the end. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? Subscribe now and join us. Thank you for your attention. Until next time, warrior.